All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Nikki Erickson, who usually joins Angie, is en route traveling cross country, so she's not here today. I'm going to take her portion. I am not a lender. I need a disclosure. This is all information from Nikki Erickson, who joins us. And in all seriousness, though, I am definitely not a lender, but she brought us some great information because she didn't want you guys to not have this information. But before we get started, every Monday, Angie Gerber, who's on the call with me, Nikki Erickson, and myself, come on here at the same time, noon central, calculate your time zone for 20 minutes or so, super fast. What is going on in the market, the mortgage market, the market in general, so that we can go share that information with our clients, our database, our sphere, our social media. Talk a little bit about what we're seeing. Angie usually brings some sort of mindset, motivation, or something else to start out your week, something to think about. And really what it is, it's accountability to come in to your week on your Monday, and do something with this information that you get from Nikki so that you can be the local expert of choice. Nikki services, clients throughout the country, and she talks more holistically about what's going on in the market in general. So it applies to everybody. And so that's what we do. So if you are new here, if you're watching live on eXp Family Tree and you want to join us on Mondays, we're here every Monday. We'd love for you to join us. All right, so here is information from Nikki. So late last week, she was sharing that we were starting to see improvement in interest rates overall as we move closer to the Fed meeting in mid-March, just coming up. Holy cow, can you guys believe it's the 1st of March already? She said that they're not expecting the Fed to drop rates at this meeting as originally thought. So that's just something for you guys to know about. And the reason is it's due to the slight increase in inflation numbers in January that were also not expected. With that said, though, she said that we can see the market is settling down and things are improving over the last week. So it's a little bit of a sit and wait position as we move through this week and into next. Of course, next Monday, she'll come on and tell us what's the word on the streets. And so I think at the end of the day, I'd love to hear some feedback from you guys. Take 5 minutes. I think buyers are settling into the reality of this is just what our interest rates are. This is just what it is. Interest rates typically aren't forever. We know that because we've been in many cycles ourselves, no matter how long we've been in this business. And so, as long as we can help them continue to get creative and they really want to make a move or they really do need to make a move, they still will. And we just need to be that resource for them. So how are we going out there and learning about the different products available? How are we going out there and learning about the different options from our lender partners like Nikki? Or are we looking into seller financing? That's a really, really big deal in a lot of parts of the country. And remembering that oftentimes people think about one part of their transaction. They don't think about the whole part, both parts equaling the whole process and the whole situation of their transaction. Meaning, if they have a home to sell and a home to buy, we always need to tie those things together and bring it back to the motivation. So in any market, no matter what the interest rate, people have bought and sold real estate. Why? Because people always have a desire that is greater than, what this potential downfall is based on the interest rates, or they have an absolute need. And there's always going to be those situations. So 2 things as the markets continue to stay where they are is, number one, we need to go find the people who want and need to buy or sell real estate because they exist. We just need to go out there and look for them. So sometimes that means changing our strategies when it comes to lead generation, but it also means changing our strategies when it comes to helping people be able to accomplish these goals and surround ourselves with the professionals that can help our clients get there. So I would encourage you that if you aren't talking to different lenders, if you aren't talking to people who are very versed in creative financing or seller financing, these would be important things for you to brush up on and to have some regular conversations and to get out there, share with your clients, do social media content, etc. If you're within the eXp world here, go into your workplace, your state workplace group and ask, hey, who in eXp here has experience with seller financing? I'd love to pick your brain. I'd love to take you to coffee. If you haven't surrounded yourself with those people, You should. And many of us who've been in business for 25 years or longer, we definitely have gone through waves of seller financing. So you can reach out to those people and they're going to be able to help you. Oftentimes, just knowing about different loan programs is really critical. So that's my 2 cents on rates. I'm seeing a lot of parts of the country become busy again because the reality is there was a lot of buyers that couldn't buy a home. We still have buyer demand and we still have low inventory in most parts of the country. Now, even with those two things, we see some properties sitting on the market a little bit longer. And that's just because there's some buyer hesitancy, and there might be some buyers that are priced out of the ability to purchase in a traditional way, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to be able to help them. So we just need to sit tight with those people and continue to find those opportunities for them and to be able to do some of these other things that I just talked about. So I don't know what it's like in all of your markets. If anybody has a question, a comment on rates and how you're seeing your buyers and sellers in your market respond, this would be a good conversation. Now, if I see a bunch of people watching live in EXP Family Tree. Remember, you guys can actually comment below here and I'll watch for those as well if you want to chime in. But anybody on the call that has a comment or something that they're noticing? Frog in my throat. Sorry about that.
Well, I think in the agents that I've been talking to, you know, multiple offers are back and they have been back for a while. So I love how your perception, what you said about buyers have settled in. And a lot of the more stuff you're seeing on social media are about, yes, it's here, but historically it's still in line. So it's really about, I believe, being a salesperson and having your client's best interest in mind, yet knowing that any market you can, I hate to use the word spin, but you can give the perception of it's for them. You know, so it's really just about knowing, like you said, the information and going and getting it. And now go back to our tactics when, you know, we did lose out in multiple offers. It's an opportunity to door knock the neighborhood. To be really honest, like there was 5 offers we lost out. There's 25 offers we lost out. You know, what can you do with any situation? You can find good in it and you can use it to go out and then expand and take something that did not turn out the way you wanted it to and capitalize on it for, again, the not the best term, and yet we're business people. And it kind of goes into Carrie. I had a call this morning with a newer agent, and it's truly like, are you an entrepreneur? Are you an amateur? So really, like you said, you have to go out, you have to get the information, you need to partner with people that are really good at what they do. If something falls apart or if something doesn't go right in your transaction, you are the quarterback and you are the one that is responsible in so many different ways. On average, 40 to 44 people touch a real estate transaction. So it's really about coming from this, knowing that when you get your real estate license and you start your real estate company or business, you go from warehouse to CEO in an instant. You don't learn the chain of command. You don't learn all the different steps. So it's finding out very quickly what you're good at, what you're not good at, or what you like to do and what you don't like to do, and working with someone to leverage out what that looks like and stay in your lane and get really, really good. And I think that just piggybacking on what you're talking about with interest rates, having those high level conversations and starting with getting the information first and foremost, and then being able to go on and educate. Some of the most successful real estate agents I know and I coach are ones I go out and just come from contribution and education. And people naturally want to learn from them, want to hear more, want to understand. So who do they go to when they have questions?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. That's the bottom line, is that you're the person. And so then no matter who has to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, what that opportunity looks like, you're the one. So let's talk a little bit about, Angie, what you wanted to talk about today, just kind of a tip, something that you've been chatting with some of your clients and agents about, and since we have about 10 minutes left.
Yes. Well, does anyone have anything to add or questions for Carrie or I about Nikki's portion? Again, she's traveling the country. Anything that came up? Perfect. Well, you know, I kind of just touched base on it as well. Going into the spring market, which has started and has been going for quite some time in many of our locations, is what can you be doing and going out and being a presence in the marketplace and
Yeah.
educating. I think the biggest thing is that I've been working with agents on the mindset part, and the perspective part is what I understand to be true. And what I know to be true is I experienced is last year was really hard for a lot of agents. Their business may have taken a hit. Some agents didn't. Some agents thrived. And that's where in any economy, you truly make it the economy. I think so many people, not only buyers and sellers, but agents as well, let that dictate how they showed up. And if they showed up at all, it's because the economy, inflation, all this stuff. And you truly, if you show up in the right energy and if you show up with the right reason, with the right heart and contribution, you create your own economy. So I really want to just put that out there. And if anyone has any questions about that or wants to learn more about that or work around that, regardless of what the news is saying, of what's happening, like I think you even touched base on it, Carrie. People are going to need to buy, sell, and invest in real estate. There are just reasons that are life to life daily decisions and reasons that people go through, life changes that has them in the position where they need to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. So it never goes away. And the narrative that it had, or that it got really, really bad, or it's going to, or this or that, or interest rates, if you can just take what you hear as noise and really focus on how you're perceiving it, how you're hearing it, and then filtering it through to someone that needs to hear it in the light they need to hear it in, so that they can take action and feel comfortable. Again, not bending the truth. I'm not saying to do that, but I'm saying to have a holistic education. And that's why Carrie, Nikki, and I do these calls. Is one of the reasons is to come, have conversations, give you guys tools, like you said, Carrie, to go out and use to implement. So pick 1 to 2 to 3 things in ways that you're going to go and get your spring business. You know, again, this should have started 30, 60, 90 days ago, is what's showing up in your business now. So what you actually do today won't necessarily show up for another 60 days. So you might actually be working on your late spring, summer market now. But start now if you're not doing it. Decide what you're going to do consistently. We always talk about the 3 pillars. I think what I see a lot of agents doing right now is they try something and then they stop because it didn't work. So then they go over here and they try this and it didn't work. So you're plugging and pulling and plugging and pulling. And as you know, it's consistency and success are best friends. You're not going to have one at a high level without the other. So the people that were unscathed and did get through whatever they've been through without so much as a scratch, if you really look at it and if you really dissect their business and what they're doing, I can almost guarantee you it's consistency. They're showing up consistently. They're doing the same things regardless of how they feel, regardless of if they're fighting with their spouse, if their kids are being little, you know, you know what, if they have a headache, you know, and that's what I talked about with this newer agent this morning, because you go from not owning a business to being the business, the CEO, having to know everything. You don't get trained that way. So now it's your choice whether you show up as an entrepreneur or an amateur. And the big difference to me is that an amateur will show up and let every reason why they don't work on or in their business get in the way. And a true entrepreneur shows up, and regardless of if they feel like doing it or not doing it, they show up and do it because they know they need to. And that is the consistency of it. And I used to be in this boat before I found all this information, really, really understood this. I mean, I was consistent because I was made to be, because I was on a team and I have high level of responsibility and dedication. So I just did it because it's part of me. But so many aren't that way, and they don't show up all the time, and they're not consistent. So what I love to challenge agents on almost is, if door knocking makes you want to throw up, if networking events make you want to like go back to bed, like truly, if you're so anxious about some of the stuff you're forcing yourself to do, to get clients or to make connections, stop and think about what aligns with you, what aligns with your heart and lights you up. Because I know one thing for sure is this business is done so many different ways. It just has to be your way, whatever way you're going to commit to doing consistently and showing up consistently day after day, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what's going on in your personal life, you will show up and show up for yourself and your business. Do it that way. It doesn't have to be the way the person next to you did it, but consistency will equal success for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any comments or thoughts on that? Anybody have just anything that they just want to share or something they might be struggling with that we can chat through in the last few minutes?
I was just gonna piggyback about consistency. I feel like that really is key. Because like, last year definitely challenge, but I feel like at least for myself, I've been trying to show up 90% consistent. And there's been a shift in my business where I've gotten a lot of referrals from other agents. And I think that might just be because I've been showing up consistently either on social media or somehow, and they've been sending me more. It's like the most referrals I've ever got from agents in my life. So I do think there's a key to at least showing up consistently. So just piggybacking on that, consistency, I think really does work for sure.
It does. And you that has been the thing that you have, I think, done since the beginning is just, if anybody follows, Joel on social, do it if you haven't. But I mean, like, since I've ever been friends with you, Joel, it's just like, I see something all the time, like daily, weekly. And it's the consistency. Nicole, who's on the call right now, a new agent, she's showing up extremely consistently. And I always just keep saying it takes a minute, so don't lose any sort of hope, right?
Yeah, for
You gotta
sure.
just keep doing it because there's story after story after story of the realtors that said, literally, I just kept doing it, and all of a sudden it just starts really, really blowing up, and that is the truth. Joel, who is on the call, he and his wife are people that are examples of this, like really just showing up and how now you just see their success, like it just snowballs. So use others as inspiration, Nicole, too, because you can, they're just a few years ahead of you or a couple of years ahead of you, and then you can see where you can be if you keep that consistency.
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely follow, for sure, because I'm in this limbo space right now on social media where I keep showing up. I was like, I'm going to keep posting like there's millions of you, but I only have like 50 followers, and it's like the funniest thing. But I'm just going to keep doing what I have to do until I get where I need to be. So
right. I like that. Keep doing what I need to do
Yeah.
until I get where I want to be. I love that. That's a great
Yep.
quote, right?
Yeah.
I love that you said you're doing it as if there's millions or thousands.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
really it. You show up in
Yeah.
that energy and you show up from that place and you will attract it and you'll speak
Yeah.
to your future self. And I think that's another thing I've been working with so many agents on is they come like where you're at and then you're just trying to like step it up. And I said, why don't you come from your goal? Like come from your goal and what that version of you does today. Like what do they wake up like? What are their morning routines like? Do they really, really cringe at posting on social media? No, that's a no-brainer. Do they really cringe about picking up the phone and making that phone call? Absolutely not. That's a given in
Right.
business because that's what they do at that level. And when you come from your goal, you make different decisions because it's what you need to do. And you won't get to your goals if they're big enough and worthy enough of you from who you are today. So what part of version or what part of you do you need to leave behind? All the stories and the worthiness and the self-image and all the stuff that holds us back from taking steps forward. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love it. Joel, did you have something
Yeah.
to say to that? I saw you lean forward. I didn't know if there was something you were going to say.
I guess I'm just piggybacking today, but like she was talking about like your future self. That's a quote that my always not a quote, like a methodology that my coaches taught me, something called be do have. I forgot who we got it from, but basically it's talking about to like say if you want to be a millionaire, just go ahead and be that millionaire. And then by being
Yeah.
that millionaire, you have to do the things that the millionaire does. And then eventually you'll have the things that that millionaire has. So it's kind of like starting from where you want to be and reverse engineering it. So just piggybacking again.
I like
That's all.
that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Love it.
And part of the call here is for motivation and mindset. So we're super excited that those of you that are showing up are coming on here because you can help each other with your own motivation and mindset. Angie and I are here just to facilitate it. If we all just get a shot in the arm of some motivation and some mindset and a market update, knowing what's going on this week so that we can be educated, we have no limits to what we can go do with that information and with that energy and with that mindset throughout the week.
Yes.
And how you start your week is how you finish it. So thanks for showing up with us on Mondays. Bring your friends, tell others about it, and we'll see you back here on Monday. We have a great training again on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern. You guys, as always, every Wednesday. That is posted in our EXP family tree, so you can see the lineup. And then Thursdays, my group coaching at 1 p.m. Eastern. So always on my same Zoom link. I'll see you guys then.
Perfect. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.